At our wedding, my wife raised her glass and said, "This dance is for the man I've loved for 10 years. She walked past me and stopped in front of my brother. Everyone applauded until I asked my father one question. My wife froze. My brother collapsed. The champagne glass in my wife's hand caught the light like a diamond. Lisa stood at the head table in her $15,000 Vera Wang gown, facing 300 guests in the ballroom of the Four Seasons. The band had just finished our first dance as husband and wife, except we hadn't danced yet. She'd asked the band leader to wait. "I have an announcement," she said, her voice sweet and clear through the microphone. My stomach dropped before she even continued. Something in her tone, something wrong. "Everyone, I need to be honest tonight. This first dance belongs to the man I've truly loved for 10 years. The room went silent. 300 people holding their breath. She looked at me, sitting right there at the head table, her husband of 47 minutes. My heart hammered against my ribs. Then she walked past me, straight past, like I was furniture. She stopped in front of my brother Ryan, 3 seats down. He was already standing, straightening his tuxedo, grinning like he'd won the lottery. She took his hand. "To the man who's always been there," Lisa said into the microphone, eyes locked on Ryan's face. "My best friend, my rock, the one who knows me better than anyone." The crowd erupted. Applause, laughter. "How sweet," someone called out. "What a beautiful tribute." They thought it was cute, touching, a heartfelt acknowledgement of a supportive brother-in-law. The band started playing Unchained Melody, slow, romantic, completely wrong for a brother-sister-in-law dance. I sat frozen in my tuxedo, hands flat on the white tablecloth, watching my wife of less than an hour dance with my younger brother. My father, Thomas, seated 3 chairs to my right, was clapping, beaming, like this was normal, like his daughter-in-law dancing with his other son at her own wedding reception was perfectly fine. But I saw it. The way Ryan's hand landed on Lisa's waist, too low, too familiar, too practiced. The way she leaned into him, head on his shoulder, eyes closed, like she'd done this 1,000 times before. The way they swayed together, perfect rhythm, no awkwardness, no hesitation. They'd done this before. I'm Daniel Morrison, 34 years old, Executive Vice President of Morrison Holdings, my family's commercial real estate development company based in Seattle. We're worth $340 million. My father built the company from nothing over 40 years. I've worked there since I graduated from Wharton 12 years ago. Ryan is 29, 5 years younger, VP of Business Development, charming, gregarious, everyone's favorite, dad's pride and joy. And Lisa Chen, my wife of 47 minutes, was the daughter of David Chen, founder and CEO of Chen Industries, a manufacturing conglomerate worth $280 million. 3 months ago, Dad had called me into his office, corner office, 40th floor, view of Elliott Bay, his power room. "You're marrying Lisa Chen," he'd said, not asked, told. "What?" "David Chen and I have been negotiating a merger for 18 months. Morrison Holdings and Chen Industries. Combined company worth over $600 million, but David has conditions. Conditions? His daughter marries into the Morrison family, creates a dynasty, ensures both families stay invested in the success of the merged entity. It's how these things work, Daniel." "Dad, I barely know Lisa. You've met her twice." "Exactly. At corporate events where we exchanged maybe 10 words. You'll get to know her. Date for a few months, get engaged, have a nice wedding. This saves both companies. The merger depends on family unity." David's insisting on it. I'd stared at him. "This is insane. People don't do arranged marriages anymore. This is 2023, not this is business, Daniel. You're the oldest son. You're the heir. This is what's required. What if I say no?" Dad's expression had gone cold. "Then Ryan becomes heir, and you can find another company to work for." I'd grown up in that company, spent 12 years building it, knew every deal, every property, every investor relationship. I couldn't walk away, so I'd said yes. Lisa and I had started dating in July. Dinner twice a week, always at nice restaurants, always polite conversation. She was beautiful, elegant, poised, perfect posture, but distant, like she was performing a role. I'd asked her once, "Do you want this marriage?" "It's what our fathers arranged," she'd said. "I'm dutiful daughter. You're the dutiful son. We'll make it work." We got engaged in September. Dad threw an engagement party for 200 people. Lisa smiled for photos, showed off her ring, 3-carat diamond, $47,000. I'd let Dad pick it out. The wedding was scheduled for December 15th, fast timeline. Dad wanted the merger finalized by year end. Ryan had volunteered to help with wedding planning. "You're swamped with work," he'd said at a family dinner in October. "Let me handle the wedding stuff. Venues, catering, flowers. I'll coordinate with Lisa. You just show up on the day." "That's a lot to ask," I'd said. "We're brothers. That's what family does." I'd been grateful. Weddings were complicated, and I had 3 major development deals closing before December. So Ryan took over. And now, watching them dance, I realized what I'd missed. The late-night planning sessions that Ryan mentioned. We're finalizing the menu. We're reviewing the seating chart. We're picking songs. Always we. Always late. Always after I'd gone to bed. The way Ryan always had her coffee order memorized. Oat milk latte, extra hot, light foam. He'd bring it to her during our family dinners. The weekend trip to Napa in November to visit potential venues. I'd been at a conference in San Diego. They'd gone alone. The hushed phone calls that ended abruptly when I walked into rooms. The inside jokes I didn't understand. hand, the way Lisa's face lit up when Ryan entered a room, the way it went neutral when she looked at me. I'd told myself it was nothing. They were planning my wedding. They spent time together. Of course, they'd develop a friendly rapport, but this wasn't friendly. This was intimate. The dance ended. 300 people applauded. Lisa and Ryan separated slowly, reluctantly. She was crying. Happy tears, apparently. They walked back to the head table. Lisa sat down next to me, dabbed her eyes with a napkin. "That was beautiful," someone called out. Dad raised his glass. "To family," he toasted. Everyone drank. I stood up. The chair scraped loud against the floor. Conversations died. People turned. "Dad," I said. My voice carried in the sudden silence. "I have a question." The band stopped playing. 300 faces stared at me. Dad's smile faltered. "Daniel, sit down. This isn't the time. Since Lisa just publicly declared her love for Ryan," I said clearly, letting the words hang in the air. "Are you going to tell everyone here how much of Morrison Holdings you secretly signed over to them last week?" The silence was absolute. Nuclear. My father's face drained of color. Actually, drained. I watched it happen. Lisa's hand flew to her mouth. The napkin fluttered to the floor. Ryan stumbled backward, nearly knocking over his chair. "What?" David Chen, seated at a table near the front, stood up abruptly. His chair toppled. "Thomas, what the hell is he talking about?" "Nothing," my father stammered. His hands were shaking. I'd never seen my father's hands shake. He's confused. Wedding stress. He doesn't know." 49%, I interrupted. I pulled out my phone, held it up high so everyone could see. Transferred to Ryan Morrison and Lisa Chen Morrison as joint owners. Dated December 8th, 1 week before our wedding. I'd pulled up the photo I'd taken 6 nights ago. Clear image of the stock transfer agreement. Dad's signature, Ryan's signature, Lisa's signature as Lisa Chen, because she hadn't been Lisa Morrison yet. The document that gave them controlling interest in Morrison Holdings the moment Lisa and I got married. The room exploded. Gasps, shouts, chairs scraping, voices overlapping. "Let me see that! Is this real? Thomas, answer him!" David Chen pushed through the crowd, shoved past his wife, past business partners, past board members from both companies. He grabbed my phone out of my hand, stared at the screen. His face turned purple. Actually, purple. "You told me this was a partnership," he hissed at my father. "You said your son, your eldest son, would run the merged company. Not that you were handing control to them." "It's not." "I can explain," Dad tried. He was on his feet now, hands up, defensive posture. "Explain what?" David's voice rose. "That you lied to me? That this whole merger was a scheme to cut out Daniel and give everything to your other son and my daughter?" "David, listen." "No, you listen. The deal was predicated on our children marrying and Daniel running the merged entity. That's what we agreed to." Lisa was sobbing, mascara running down her perfect makeup, but she wasn't denying anything, just crying. Ryan tried to speak. "Dad, just let me—" "Shut up," Thomas snapped. He pointed at Ryan. "Don't say a goddamn word." He turned to me, eyes wild. When did you find—" "The night you gave me the merger contract to sign," I said calmly. "Tuesday, December 9th. Remember? You called me to your office at 8 p.m., had me review and sign 47 pages of merger documents. You left the room to take a call. Your safe was open. I'd seen it. The Browning Pro Steel 65 safe behind his desk, door ajar. Unusual. Dad was meticulous about security. Curiosity had won. I'd looked inside, found the stock transfer agreement, dated December 8th, the day before, giving Ryan and Lisa joint controlling interest in Morrison Holdings effective upon their marriage. Not upon my marriage to Lisa, upon their marriage, which meant they were planning to get married, eventually. After what? After I died? After they forced me out? I'd photographed everything with my phone, closed the safe, signed the merger documents, said nothing, spent 6 days deciding what to do. I turned to face the crowd, to face the board members of Morrison Holdings, 7 of them in attendance, to face the executives from Chen Industries, to face our investors, business partners, everyone who mattered. "My brother and my wife have been sleeping together for at least 2 years, I said. My voice was steady, clear, probably longer. My father knew about it. He arranged this marriage to legitimize their takeover of Morrison Holdings. I was just the cover story, the patsy, the useful idiot who'd sign the merger documents and step aside. Ryan dropped into his chair. His face had gone green. Actually green. Lisa was sobbing into her hands, shoulders shaking. "Security," David Chen barked. He gestured at 2 men in suits standing by the door. "Escort my daughter out of this building, now." "Mr. Chen," Lisa tried. Don't say a word. You've embarrassed this family enough." The security guards moved forward. Lisa stood on shaky legs. Her veil caught on the chair. Ripped. She stumbled. Ryan stood. "Lisa, wait! Sit down!" my father roared. Ryan sat. David Chen stepped close to my father, close enough that I could hear every word. "Our deal is dead, Thomas. Completely dead. I'm pulling every dollar, every commitment, every resource. And Monday morning, you can expect my lawyers. Because if you think I'm letting you get away with this fraud, it's not fraud. You lied about the terms. You misrepresented the structure. You concealed a material conflict of interest. That's fraud, Thomas, and I'm going to bury you." Board members surrounded my father, all 7 of them. Robert Chen, our CFO, 23 years with the company. Patricia Morrison, my aunt, board member for 15 years. Michael Chen, David's brother, representing the Chen Industries interests. Thomas, what the hell were you thinking? This gives Ryan control of the company. Were you planning to force Daniel out? The investors will revolt. The merger's dead. Everything's dead. My father tried to speak, tried to explain, but 7 voices drowned him out. Ryan tried to leave, stood up, headed for the exit. 2 groomsmen, my college friends Marcus and James, moved to block him. Where do you think you're going? Marcus said. I need to check on Lisa. You need to stay right here and explain what the fuck you just did to my best friend. Ryan looked at me. Daniel, I'm sorry. You didn't mean to sleep with my wife? I said. Or you didn't mean to steal my company? It's not like that. Then what is it like, Ryan? Please, explain it to me. Explain to everyone. 300 people staring, waiting. He couldn't. He just stood there, mouth opening and closing like a fish. Lisa appeared at my elbow. She'd broken away from security, grabbed my arm with both hands. Please, she begged. Mascara everywhere, lipstick smeared. I can explain. It's not what you think. Ryan and I pulled my arm away. You already explained, on the dance floor, when you told 300 people that Ryan is the man you've loved for 10 years. I didn't mean, you meant it. And honestly, I'm glad you did, because now everyone knows exactly who you are. I walked away from the head table, away from Lisa, away from Ryan, away from my father who was now arguing with David Chen and the board members and what looked like half the guest list. Marcus fell into step beside me. Holy shit, man, you just nuked your own wedding. It wasn't my wedding, I said. It was theirs. I was just the prop. What are you going to do? Leave. And then? Call my lawyer, contest the stock transfer, probably sue everyone, divorce Lisa, disinherit Ryan if I can figure out how. Jesus. We walked out of the Four Seasons ballroom. Behind us, I could hear shouting, my father's voice, David Chen's voice, Lisa crying, Ryan trying to explain something to someone. The lobby was quiet. Marble floors, chandeliers, Christmas decorations, because it was December 15th. I sat down on a velvet couch, pulled out my phone, called Jennifer Walsh, my personal attorney, partner at Morrison & Associates, different Morrison, no relation, 26 years practicing corporate and family law. She answered on the second ring. Daniel, aren't you supposed to be at your wedding? I am. It's complicated. I need you. What happened? Lisa declared her love for my brother in front of 300 people. Turns out they've been having an affair for years, and my father secretly transferred 49% of Morrison Holdings to them a week ago. Silence. Then, I'm coming to you. Where are you? Four Seasons. Lobby. 20 minutes. She hung up. Marcus sat next to me. You okay? No, but I will be. That took balls, man. Standing up in front of everyone. It was either that or spend the next year figuring out how to fight them in secret. This way, everyone knows. No hiding, no cover-ups, no plausible deniability. Your dad's going to lose his shit. My dad already lost his shit. Did you see his face? I saw him try to murder you with his eyes. He'll get over it, or he won't. Either way, he chose Ryan over me. That's done. Jennifer Walsh arrived 18 minutes later, 51 years old, gray hair in a sleek bob, Armani suit, 4-inch heels. She looked like someone's elegant grandmother and fought like a junkyard dog. She sat across from me, pulled out an iPad. Tell me everything. I did. The arranged marriage, the planning sessions, the red flags, finding the stock transfer agreement, the wedding toast, the confrontation. Jennifer took notes, asked questions, got details. The stock transfer is invalid, she said finally. How? You're an existing shareholder. 41%, correct? Yes. Any transfer of more than 20% of company shares requires shareholder approval. Your father can't unilaterally give away 49% without your consent. That's in the company bylaws. I never consented. Exactly. The transfer is void. We'll file an emergency injunction Monday morning. But Daniel, she looked at me seriously. This is going to get ugly. Your father, your brother, your wife, they're all going to fight this. Let them. Your father will claim he was acting in the company's best interest. Ryan will claim he's a legitimate heir. Lisa, I don't know what Lisa will claim, but they'll come at you hard. I have the photos. I have witnesses to what Lisa said tonight. I have 300 people who saw her dance with Ryan like they'd been married for years. It helps, but this is about corporate control, family dynamics, succession. It's going to be complicated. Then complicate it. I want everything. Full investigation into the transfer, audit of all company finances, review of every decision my father has made in the past 5 years. Find out if there's more. You think there's more? I think my father has been planning this for a while. I want to know how long, and I want to know what else they've done. Jennifer made more notes. I'll file for emergency relief Monday, freeze all stock transfers, prevent any changes to corporate structure. We'll also file for divorce immediately. Lisa signed a prenup, correct? Yes, standard. She gets nothing if the marriage ends in the first year. Good. We'll enforce it. And Daniel, she paused. Are you sure about this? Once we start, there's no going back. You're essentially declaring war on your family. They declared war first. I'm just returning fire. She nodded. Then let's burn it all down. The dominoes fell fast. Monday morning, Jennifer filed emergency motions in King County Superior Court. Judge Patricia Morrison, no relation, granted a temporary restraining order preventing any transfer or sale of Morrison Holdings stock pending a hearing. My father received the papers at 9:47 a.m., called me 17 times. I didn't answer. Ryan left 11 voicemails, deleted without listening. Lisa's lawyer, Michael Chen, her uncle, called Jennifer, requested a meeting. Jennifer offer declined. You can respond to our divorce petition in writing. The board of Morrison Holdings held an emergency meeting Tuesday morning. My father was formally suspended as CEO pending investigation. Patricia Morrison, my aunt, was named interim CEO. She called me Tuesday afternoon. Daniel, I had no idea what Thomas was planning. None of us did. I believe you. He's claiming he was trying to ensure succession, that Ryan was better suited to run the company, that you were resistant to taking on leadership. That's bullshit. I've run half the company for 5 years. I know. The board knows. We're reviewing everything. Every decision Thomas has made for the past 3 years. We'll get to the bottom of this. Wednesday, the investigation found more. Ryan had been receiving unauthorized bonuses. $340,000 over 2 years. Approved by Dad. Not disclosed to the board. Lisa had been hired as a consultant to Morrison Holdings 8 months ago. $15,000 per month. For services never rendered. Also approved by Dad. Also not disclosed. My father had been funneling company money to them for years. Building their loyalty. Buying their cooperation. Thursday, David Chen called me. Daniel, I owe you an apology. For what? For pushing the merger. For agreeing to the marriage arrangement. I thought it was old-fashioned but harmless. I didn't know Lisa and Ryan were involved. I didn't know Thomas was deceiving us both. Did you know Lisa didn't want to marry me? I knew she was resistant, but I hoped, she'd grow to care for you. She's my daughter. I want her to be happy. I thought this would make her happy. It didn't. I know, and I'm sorry. The merger is dead. The engagement is off, obviously. But I want you to know, you have my respect. What you did at that wedding took courage. Or stupidity. No, courage. You stood up to your father in front of everyone. You exposed the truth. That's not stupidity, that's integrity. Friday, Lisa called. I answered. Mistake. Daniel, please, we need to talk. We don't. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I never meant to hurt you. Ryan and I, it just happened. We didn't plan it. We fell in love, but I shouldn't have agreed to marry you. That was wrong. I see that now. You shouldn't have stolen money from my company. That was also wrong. I didn't. You took $120,000 in consultant fees for work you never did. That's theft, Lisa. Your father offered it. I didn't ask. You took it, and you knew why. You knew he was buying your cooperation, buying Ryan's cooperation. You both knew exactly what you were doing. Daniel, the divorce will be final in 6 months. The prenup stands. You get nothing, and if you fight it, I'll make sure everyone knows you were paid to betray me. You can't. I already did. At our wedding, remember? I hung up. The hearing was December 22nd, 1 week after what should have been my wedding. King County Superior Court, Judge Patricia Morrison presiding. No relation to me or my father. Jennifer presented evidence. The stock transfer agreement, the unauthorized bonuses to Ryan, the consultant fees to Lisa, text messages between Ryan and Lisa discussing their plan to wait out my marriage and eventually be together officially. My father's lawyer, Robert Chen, his attorney for 20 years, tried to argue. Mr. Morrison was acting in the company's best interest. Ryan Morrison has been instrumental in business development. His compensation was appropriate. The stock transfer was a legitimate succession planning strategy. Succession planning that excluded his eldest son? Judge Morrison interrupted. Succession planning that wasn't disclosed to other shareholders? Succession planning that involved paying the younger son's girlfriend to pretend to marry the older son? Your Honor, that's a characterization, is it? Because that's what the evidence shows. Mr. Thomas Morrison arranged a fraudulent marriage to legitimize a stock transfer that would give his younger son and the bride control of the company. That's not succession planning. That's fraud. The judge ruled in my favor. Voided the stock transfer. Ordered full forensic audit of Morrison Holdings' finances. Ordered repayment of all unauthorized compensation. My father was removed as CEO permanently. The board voted unanimously. Ryan was terminated, effective immediately. Escorted out by security. Patricia Morrison, my aunt, became permanent CEO. She called me that night. Do you want to be COO? Help me run this company properly? I need time. I understand. Take all the time you need. But when you're ready, there's a place for you here. The right place. Not as a pawn, as a leader. The divorce was finalized in June. 6 months. Standard timeline. Lisa didn't contest. Couldn't afford to. The prenup held. She got nothing. Ryan moved to San Francisco. Works for a small development firm. Makes a fraction of what he made at Morrison Holdings. Lisa works at her father's company. Junior marketing position. David Chen offered it out of familial obligation, not trust. My father retired. Quietly. No announcement. No farewell party. He moved to Scottsdale. I haven't spoken to him since the hearing. He sent a letter 2 months ago. Daniel, I thought I was doing what was best. I thought Ryan would be a better leader. I was wrong. I'm sorry. I didn't respond. Some apologies don't fix anything. I'm writing this 1 year after the wedding that wasn't. I'm COO of Morrison Holdings now, working with Aunt Patricia to rebuild, to restore trust, to prove the company is more than my father's schemes. We're profitable, growing, stronger than before. I date sometimes, carefully. No business arrangements, no family pressure, just normal dates with normal women who aren't in love with my brother. People ask if I'm angry. If I hate them, I don't. Anger requires energy. Hate requires caring. I'm just done with them. All of them. They made their choices. I made mine. They thought they could dance together in secret forever. Thought I'd never notice, never care, never fight back, but I did notice, and I waited for exactly exactly the right moment. The moment when 300 people were watching. The moment when Lisa declared her love for Ryan publicly, undeniably. The moment when my father thought he'd won. That's when I burned it all down. They'd been dancing together for 10 years in secret. I made sure the whole world watched when they fell.